Okay, my topic for today is a decade of Bitcoin and blockchain in Slovenia. And it was very difficult for me to actually prepare these humble slides of mine. By the way, I suck at slides. I talk a lot. I like to talk, to wrap a story around each slide. So I assembled 30 slides that will approximately take me 1 minute per slide. And well, what the difficult part here was 10 years in Bitcoin and blockchain in Slovenia or in global. I had to do some pre-selection what markers or what pinpoints in life in this decade I was supposed to talk about. So, hopefully my presenter will work. Okay, the first marker in the decade of Bitcoin and blockchain, for me, it was to see Bitcoin.si being registered. It was registered on 28th of March 2011 by guess who? The founder, the co-founder of Bitstamp. Yes, correct. Nate Skodrich is the owner and current owner of this Bitcoin domain. It's a premium domain name, by the way, and Nate was kind enough to let us use it in Bitcoin Association Slovenia. So we maintain it. We technically we are using it all the time in our daily basis. So thank you, Nate, for this. Hopefully it will stay the same, at least until 28th March 2020 when the domain expires. But I'm sure we're going to renew it by then. Okay, for the next milestone, I decided to take a quick look at Bitcoin Talk. How many of you know what Bitcoin Talk is? Can we have some hands up? Okay, actually quite a lot. How many of you have an account? I mean, you are registered on Bitcoin Talk? And how many contributors? Just one reply, that's good enough for me. Okay, you need to start using those accounts more frequently. Okay, 27 June 2018. This is a date when the Bitcoin Talk forum got its first sub-forum for Slovenian language. We still don't have a dedicated one. And it says, hello Slovenia, let's get around here to see how many of you guys are interested in Bitcoin. How many euros you invested in Bitcoin? I currently invested 200 euros of my own. Do you have any Bitcoins to sell in Slovenia? This was done by iKill. I have no idea who the guy is, and his activity level is very low, so let's call him an early adopter that is gone in the wind. Okay, off to the future. Sorry for the double clicks. Then the next marker was for me to notice on the 7th November 2011, Nate Skodrich was first mentioning Bitstamp on the same forum we were discussing there. So it says, hello, for some time now, approximately 3 months, there's an exchange called bitstamp.net. Currently, we offer dollar value trading with a 0.50% commission. Our company is doing everything they can to put Bitcoin to mainstream usage. Besides the fact that Bitcoin is very lowly recognized, if any of you guys are here to help us bring this Bitcoin network to more people, we are here to do it together. Okay, so that's kind of a milestone since we all know Bitstamp is the pioneer of the technology, so that's why they took my first slide. Time warp into 2012. Okay, so we're here to have an interesting date. I'm actually born on this date, 11 February, not 2012, but it's the first sighting on Bitcoin Talk and the first Slovenian forum that is currently not existent anymore, and it was built on Bitcoin.si domain, subfolder forum. I don't have screenshots from that forum. I have no idea what the debate was about, because I was simply not there yet in 2012. Well, again, pretty cool. Then there's a significant thing called Bitcoin meetups. The first public gathering of Bitcoin pioneers was organized on October 9th, 2012 in hackerspace Cyberpipe. How many of you have heard of Cyberpipe? Cyberpipa. So, oh, quite a lot. So you guys know that there was like a little dark rooms where hackers were gathering, exchanging ideas. And from this meetup, this was actually a very low participation event. I actually still found the Facebook event that was hosted by Cyberpipe. The event descriptions on the official website are non-existent anymore. I didn't take the time to look through the web archives to put you some screenshots. But the point is that based on Facebook information, there was about 23 people gathered at this event. So I would call those guys the true pioneers. So keep in mind, it's 2012. We are not in today's time yet. So that was like a little cult, I think. Cult of hackers doing some dark web, internet stuff. Most of the people on the planet Earth still don't understand. But those are the beginning of the days, so I thought it was worth mentioning as one of the markers, or milestones. Then the shit hit the fan. How many of you have watched this video? I'm not going to showcase it. You can search it on the internet. What is Bitcoin? This was the first actual video that clearly represented what is Bitcoin, how does it work, and what is designed for. And on this day, 19th of October 2012, a Slovenian programmer mentioned here, Matija Mazi, translated this video, what is Bitcoin, into Slovenian language, and it became Kaj je Bitcoin. You can search it on the internet if you can find it yet. Then, since a question from taxation was always a hot topic, even in the early days, I thought it was worth mentioning that this was actually a first that I discovered written document. Actually, this is a screenshot from an email that was replied by the tax authority of Slovenia. That says, in regards of your question that you relay by email, we are letting you know that the current nature with sales of cryptographic currency Bitcoin that is done by a person who is not a registered company is VAT exempt. So it's not taxable, it's tax-free. So this was actually like a deal breaker for most of the early adopters because they had some clarity that they will not be paying tax on their gains earned by trading or by mining or by whatever. But this is still 2012. Sorry, I forgot to put the date there, but it's 2012. Look. 1 year warp. February 2013. Bitcoin.Slovenia gets its today's most popular channel on the social media activated. So this would be the today known cryptovalute Facebook group, currently having 14,000 people there discussing Bitcoin-related and blockchain-related topics on a daily basis. But it's worth mentioning that this is the actual month and day and year that the group was formed. Bitcoin Association Slovenia at this point still doesn't exist. So this is a result of work of those 23 or so individuals that I mentioned before that had a gathering in Cyberpipe. Then I started scrolling a bit more on Bitcoin Talk Forum. And of course, I noticed something very nice. On 13 November 2014, another Bitcoin meetup was held, and it was held in restaurant Alegria. And this is why I think this is the most important, one of the most important milestones as well, because it says here, restaurants will accept Bitcoin for food and drink. And this pizzeria is actually the first restaurant in Slovenia to have Bitcoin payments enabled for their services. So they were using BitPay. I personally used it twice. It was at that time quite a nice and most likely the only service provider that allows you to take Bitcoin and have your company receive euro in like a matter of 24 to 48 hours on your bank account. So you don't have so the company didn't have the volatility problems and that came along with Bitcoin acceptance. Okay, so yeah. So how many of you guys know about Bitcoin Pizza Day? Yeah, that's just also a correlation here because Alegria is a pizza place, and of course Bitcoin Pizza Day has already become like some sort of a holiday for Bitcoiners, And we're gonna have this year pizza day as well. And it's gonna be the largest pizza on the planet, bigger than we had last year. Oh, I don't know why I'm clicking 2 times all the time, but maybe I'm a little nervous. Of course, then worth mentioning is the merchant adoption. Because, you know, Bitcoin is there, you can trade it, you can buy it, have Bitstamp online, it's easy to convert in and out to fiat. But the use cases are the payments. So this is actually the first sighting I noticed about quite a detailed list of where you can spend your Bitcoins. This is December 3rd, 2013, where you can smartly spend your Bitcoins. This is actually, I know this guy. This is one of the early adopters, and also a programmer and developer in crypto space. I will not mention him by name because of privacy concerns, but he clearly resembles here. Lists exotica.si, this is exotic plants, virtualit.si, they were selling microrecruiters, BGP antennas, major telecom equipment, loop acroput, I don't think it works anymore, but it showcases sailing with parachutes from the mountains. Pharmacoda is a development company that produce software and code. And Internet Zalivalček will make sure your water plants will grow successfully. So these are, from my research, the first major e-commerce in Slovenia to actually accept Bitcoin. I don't know how many of these shops actually still work and accept Bitcoin, but you can have a look at yourself. You can check for yourself. Then another birthday event for me. On the 11th February 2014, the founding Congress of Bitcoin Association Slovenia was held, and the association was legally formed there. Okay, so this actually was the first creation of an institutional, non-government agency in Slovenia to actually have the word Bitcoin in the company name, and is dedicated fully to growing awareness of Bitcoin and blockchain in Slovenia. So if I wanted to summarize from all the slides and all the events that took place in Slovenia, besides the company-wise things that Bitstamp did, I would say this was one of the most important things that happened in Bitcoin in Slovenia. I will not disclose the identity of the founding father and the chairman, but archives will show you who it is, but he's sitting in this room today right now. So I will give him a humble applause. Yeah, so based on national legislation, on association, on 12th February 2014, Bitcoin Association Slovenia statute was formed. This statute essentially means what the association is about, what are responsibilities and mission, what is the mission, and of course what are responsibilities of these members. Off we go again. 20th March 2014, Bitcoin Association Slovenia is officially born and indexed into the Slovenian IPES registry. So with this, it becomes association officially lives. So guess what? Yesterday we had our 5th birthday. So congratulations to everybody that's involved in Bitcoin Association Slovenia and partners. Okay, time flies. Association grows, groups are formed. We even put a few extra groups for altcoiners, for miners, so there was no mess. So, like a little seed that was planted by the early adopters, it grew. Every day, new members came to the group, new association members were registered, and we grew organically. Of course, Bitcoin price followed along. Then we have sightings of the first companies. I actually stole this exact layout here from my 2-year-ago slide which I had in Bitcoin Association Serbia. So these are essentially some of the companies that were already alive and kicking, or being planned, or already had a market presence. So take note, this is a 2-year-old slide. We are not talking about 2014, but more like a 214 to 2017 timeline. So this is the first batch. I will not introduce every single one of them individually because I'm not here to pitch anyone. And there are some projects on mine as well. So just to get you an idea that already in 2014, in 2015 and so on, we had quite a lot of corporate presence already being formed. Okay, so, but what did actually put us on the map? Of course, the pioneers like Bitstamp did it. That's not negotiable. But for me, one of the most important days was when the company, on the 22nd of June 2017, the company called Bitins has released into the world about Bitcoin vouchers that day became available on every single gas station in Slovenia. So why these vouchers? Maybe people think it's not such a big deal. Okay, you're selling vouchers because they're not selling Bitcoin. You know, when you buy a voucher, you actually get a IOU. That IOU you need to redeem. Only then you get your Bitcoins. But the point is, if you look at the concentration of petrol gas stations all over Slovenia, if I were to zoom in or zoom out a little bit on this scale, the markers of these stations will actually fully cover Slovenia, and it will be approximately maybe 1% space uncovered from the entire country. So at that point, Bitcoin became like zero to miss. You can't, everybody of us, I'm sure everybody here has been to the gas station once in their lifetimes, and you just can't ignore Bitcoin anymore because they have the flashing signs, they have the commercials, and Bitcoin is written next to the tobacco stand. So it was like impossible to get around the fact that Bitcoin is being sold at gas stations. So that's why I decided to put this as a major milestone in this decade of Bitcoin adoption. Wow, I did it. Just one click. Okay, I couldn't go past the fact that the ICO world came into blockchain space in 2016. And since we have a lot of companies in Slovenia, I would say roughly that the company we all know today as Economy opened up the Slovenian Pandora's box for the ICO projects and set off some kind of an example that a little country like Slovenia with 2 million inhabitants can make a difference, can go and attack this global market and take its share in the form of 10 million they raised. Okay, so this actually opened up a door for every individual with a bright idea in Slovenia to start thinking about their own ideas and how maybe, maybe, blockchain can help solve any of their problems. But we learned the hard way at some point during this ICO craziness that in a lot of cases it was simply just a money game and the development was non-existent or was never even planned. But you know, this is the same in every aspect of our lives. We can start something with best intentions and later on deceive everybody else. So flash forward to 2019, we will get back to early years. I was asked by a colleague in blockchain space, Jure, can you give me a list of active companies in Slovenia that are involved in Bitcoin blockchain and related technologies? And I decided to put a vote because 14,000 people in a group can be a quality matrix when you want to learn about which companies they think are active, living, breathing, and having a active presence in the market. So this is just a summary of the survey of the top 30 companies. It's linear by amount of votes received, but this is irrelevant here because the ultimate question is who is alive and kicking and has a market presence. And I will just quickly go through. Of course, number one spot takes the Bitstamp, Sun Contract, TokensNet, Enigma, that we all know with Alipay, Vibrate, Economy, ZeroSet, Verity, NiceCash, MoneyRebel. Of course, Bitcoin Association Slovenia also took the spot there.
Origin Trail, Limitless, Cryptomat, Picnic and Lowcoins, my own project Lanacoin, Robotina, Sauron, Tycoin, Blockbird, Hype Terminal, CargoX, which will be featuring a presentation of their own as well today, GateHub, Zavo Združenje, Double Up, VoucherMe, Futurist, NevaCoin, and my other projects, CryptoWater and Aquarius. So just to give you an idea, the list is longer. It's approximately 60 folks listed there. So don't be offended if your company or your preferred project is not listed there. The point is, this is a list of 30 people, 30 companies project, still alive and kicking today. So in the land, small Slovenia, that's a lot to survive. Going back to 2017, it was worth mentioning that with all the craziness and the hyperbolic attention Bitcoin and blockchain was getting from global media in 2017, it was worth mentioning for me that we are in the top 5 spots on Google search. At that time, when searching for cryptocurrency, we took the #1 position. So that we Slovenians were like super searching Google for blockchain on cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is also notable here at the #4 spot. So they just proved my point. We went hyperbolic in Slovenia in 2017, and the market followed as well. Flash forward to 2018. Yeah, I got approached by a team of video specialists and a co-founder of the Bitcoin Association Slovenia to say, fuck it, Jure, let's do a documentary. We need it because we have a lot of shit to cover. It's a worthy project to do it. The guys that are from Fixed Media said, let's do a crowdfunding. We have an option, you know, and they've been clear with their agenda. They said, we need this kind of money to produce a normal, viewable, marketable product, documentary. And if we achieve this kind of funding, we can do a super long, super special, ultra high definition, very high quality product. So apparently we raised enough money to start the project, because a few weeks ago, I was actually involved in shooting the Genesis scene for this documentary. And guess where it was shot? Right here. And this is a screenshot from me because, believe it or not, the unveiling of this statue, I will talk about later, was actually a global coverage. Yeah, 16th of May, 2018. First Bitcoin and blockchain documentary is announced with Genesis scene filmed on the 17th February this year. Crypto Nation Slovenia, a documentary which presents the vibe around cryptocurrency in Slovenia, from business opportunities and construction of crypto communities. Okay, so this is the team right here, the lead director, the screenplay, and the camera crew. And that's me and my kids. We took a nice Sunday stroll to Kran to shoot the first scene. For what the scene includes, you will have to look for the document. Yeah, it started to get very, very busy in 2017 and 2018. Bitcoin Association Slovenia at some point said, we are not going to go along with regulators, lawmakers, accountants. We are institution, associations by the people, for the people, and will stay that way. So at that point, I was actually president, and I said, I don't have time to deal with the community and all the legal faces in the world. So a lot of new organizations were formed that have contributed significantly, and I mean significantly, to bring Bitcoin blockchain technologies and its problems on global adoption to the Slovenian government, to the regulators, to the tax offices, and everybody else that just doesn't understand what all this is all about and needs somebody to translate them into a language they understand. So a short introduction. This is by chronological formation. Blockchain Združenje, SBCA, Blockchain Alliance, Central Europe. You have the links here if you want to visit their websites and see what it's all about. Blockchain Think Tank Slovenia, European Blockchain Hub, and Center Vesovskih Tehnologije Hrvatska. So a round of applause for all these institutions, because Bitcoin Association Slovenia would never be able to impact on a national level all that was going on in the last 3 years. There I go again with the triple slides. Okay, fast forward. It's 2019, and I was thinking about, okay, we used to be #1 on the map at some point. I think I skipped a slide. I will go back to that. I just noticed now. But I was thinking, what would be the 2019 significant event that has generated some traction for Slovenia in terms of cryptocurrency space? And I decided, this is not a marketing pitch, you know. This actually comes from my own view on how things evolve in Slovenia. So I give you Alipay. Why is this important? Besides Alipay being a custodial wallet where you can spend your cryptocurrency, it doesn't change the fact that crypto acceptance has reached a critical mass of 2,040 plus locations in Slovenia. Mostly they are concentrated in the shopping mall of BTC City, but still, this is, according to world standards, based on the fact that we have 2 million residents in Slovenia, gives us a unique #1 spot on the planet in terms of physical locations that you can spend your crypto. So it was, I think, worth mentioning. So congratulations, Alipay. Thanks for giving us a shine on the world map again. I will quickly go back to a slide I missed, because this was actually one of my early days when I got involved, and I skipped it. And hell no, I'm not going to skip it, because these are actually my early days of Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin ATM in Slovenia. We had the first one in 2014. And guess not, Bitnik is not the first Bitcoin ATM. I was actually the crazy asshole that set up these 2 machines for the first time. And this is me on very, very low resolution video, shot in plain dark, doing the first purchase of Bitcoin with a 20-euro bill machine. These machines are actually going next week into the Museum of Technology in Polhogradec. I have a date with the guy responsible for this on Monday, so hopefully we'll have a little event later on, maybe in May, with the grand opening of the. Since this is like an artifact, you know, these things don't work anymore. The software behind it is non-existent, and I had no plans for development. But still, these crazy machines were the first ATMs in Slovenia. Of course, many others follow. Bitnik in Hostel Tresor was first publicly, majorly covered in media. Bitcoin machine launch, still operational today. The company has approximately 6 ATMs operational right now, I think. Then we had a little conference in one of the Fulvianas hotels when BT's company launched its own line of Bitcoin ATMs. And of course, also a major milestone in Bitcoin ATMs in Slovenia was the launch of BT's ATM in petrol gas station in Ljubljana. So this is here. This is actually me cutting the red table over there. So these are like this was fun doing this. You know, it was a walk through the memory lane and deciding which things to put inside. So please forgive me if I get too emotional with this, because actually making these slides caused a little motivational thing for me to keep on going, because I saw what was done and what could be done in the future. Okay, fast forward, we are almost done. I'm not going to be overlong like Alan. To be honest, the guy scared the shit out of me. Okay, yeah, I decided to pitch my own thing a little bit. So, 3 years ago, I launched this alternative currency called Aquarius coin. Yeah, guess what? I'm an Aquarius. Makes sense, right? Okay, so until some time ago, there was no use case for this cryptocurrency. It was a speculative tool. You can like trade it for Bitcoin, and that's it. So this is the case for most cryptocurrencies, so we understand. So my shitcoin is not any different than your shitcoin. Okay? But I had the vision with the Aquarius coin 3 years ago, and a short time from today, 3 weeks ago, I decided to put it into the first use case. So I give you the first water on planet Earth to have a unique QR code, and this is the transaction hash of the exact time in time and space that the water was put into the bottle. That water is still to go into the bottle, and besides not being processed by any chemical plant, the water is the same as it was. So I guess I have some quality water in that bottle. Okay? So a message. Since tomorrow is World Water Day, a message for you: be formless, be shapeless, be water. So tomorrow you all need to drink a lot of water because it's the origin of life. That's it. We come to the end. Hope you liked it. Like I said, I couldn't squeeze any more slides into the 30-minute presentation. Carefully selected a few milestones. And of course, hope to see you all in a decade. And Satoshi thanks you.